Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the market. April 23rd, it's Thursday. We're going to review 0-day options on SPY, the small account challenge. Got Eric's 30-minute chart. He's SPY Day Trade on YouTube. You can check him out. Crazy day today. So we've been just like summer trading, low volume, bullish type market of just grinds and low IV and low volatility and tight range, especially this week. And then just one little news thing, and we got buck wild. IV tripled. Price went nuts. Yeah, let's get into it. So, this morning I think we had a little bit of a gap. Wasn't too much. Yeah, it gapped up. Gap down. I don't know. Filled the gap pretty quick, whatever it was. Started with this purple I charted for the precision buying. Moved these around quite a bit later. A little bit later on. Very grindy this morning. What we've been seeing this week. Just low volume grind. And harder to chart. Yeah. So I ended up with this red, this green, this purple, and the gold. Those are my main ones, but it took a while for me to get to that point. Where we're at. Still trying to trade less and scale up, especially with the IV being lower as it was. Only for this morning though. 10:04. 10:04. I got one put, and that was yeah. So that was for inverse cup closing. Looking to get the head or the handle, the top of the handle. I had another one drawn. You can kind of see it here with gold, but I had another one drawn right here. And that was the reason for that put there. And that's why I only got one. I figured I can take wedge trades. I just need to scale down, so I just got one on that one. Chopped around. I kind of just held it because, yeah, that's the way wedge trades work. And then I kind of decided to bail on it just because it seemed like it was building liquidity, and it's kind of hard to see what's going on now because my lines were quite a bit different at that point. But you can kind of see what I was thinking of. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Yeah, since they demonetized me, I'm like, I might as well just play some other jams and copyright free stuff. I got out of this one at 10:15, so I held it for quite a while. It was actually at the very beginning of this candle. Just fortunately got it out before that candle came in. Let's see, 95 cents to 85 cents. Grind it up. Completed the cups sort of here. Little weird ugly handle. I did have gold then. It wasn't great though. Next trade was a put at 10:26. Yeah, so this was top of the wedge at that point. Let's see. I think that's what that was for. Yeah. So top of the wedge, thinking the cup's not closing. There's all liquidity up here. We've completed the inverse cup. So this will be my stop. That's the reason for that 10:26. And again, I only got one. Kept it small. I was planning to hold till probably this red. Hoping for low of day. Close that one out 10:30 for tiny profit. Just because it failed to continue down. Yeah, close it out on that candle. And continue this grind up. 11:41, so it took him an hour and 10 minutes. Got into a call for 45 cents. Yeah, so I didn't really... The trade here was just so ugly. You have a break of gold and a retest, I guess, but just ugly price action. Oh, I didn't mess with this. 11:41, is that what I said? Yeah. 11:41. Yeah, so up here the range is very tight. It's being blocked by red, which I had charted actually back here, so it gave me more confidence in it right here once that was where it rejected. and then we have the support here for it. So tiny little wedge up here. No reason for me to trade this, and this is also giving me more insight to the tapering going on here. On the 30-minute chart, it was, I think Eric just started to draw that blue as the kind of the bearish controlled buying on the 30-minute and the tapering. But regardless of that, the fact that it was tapering and it was just such a grind, and I wanted to trade, but like, what do you trade when it's tapering and it's grinding? Credit spreads. So I did open a credit spread, and this was the one trade I was, I guess, proud of myself for doing, just because of my conviction and confidence to hold it, even though it's going away from me. So I saw this happen. I saw that we're tapering. Like, I should just do a credit spread, because I'm imagining a retrace is going to happen. It doesn't have to. My stop would be breaking above this, so kind of lame that's going against me, but it was fine. So looking for a retrace and a potential close, you know, somewhere down here, probably gold, VWAP. So it came down. I put a limit order to open it here. Didn't fill, of course, and I think it filled here. Let me see when this thing filled. Yeah, actually on this candle filled. It was a, it's hard to see what this is. Yeah, filled at 11.16. It was a 7.12, 7.13 call credit spread. So basically just hoping for, or whatever, playing the trade for SPY to expire below 7.12. But I'm not going to hold it till expiration. They are dailies, so expires today. But yeah, so this is just kind of a trade for the pullback that both bulls and bears want. And yeah, and then it broke through here. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I didn't look at it at all. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. If it breaks up here, I'll close it, and then I'd flip into calls, actually, with this being my stop. But without that, I'll just hold this thing. And you know, it went against me for a bit. Being a credit spread, it's decaying kind of in my favor, although it was in the money, so not exactly my favor, but decaying nonetheless. And then it did break here, and I considered once this broke to get puts, naked puts, but you know, I have the credit spread. I'll just leave it alone at that and trade less on that other account. I think that's what I did. Or did I actually get puts after all? Oh, I did get puts after all. Never mind. I forgot, because I was thinking, I'm like, if that breaks there, I'll just leave it. But I guess I decided not to. Yeah, so 11.41 right here. I did get a put. Dang, but it just... Yeah, I think it broke here. I put a limit. It filled me at 11.41, and I closed it at 43. Is this a call? Okay, this is a call. That's right, I didn't get a put. It wasn't like supposed to be a hedge, but it technically was. Because I thought it was bouncing here potentially, since it wicked up, and so I got a call here with this being my stop in case it keeps buying up in this channel. So yeah, so I had a call for the upside, and I had my call credit spread for the downside, and stopped it out right there at 43. I forgot. Yeah, I got a call there. Didn't flip to puts though. That was the thing. So next trade was at 11.58. Okay. Yep. Can I remember this? Yeah. So I closed my first. So I got two on the call credit spreads. I closed my first one right here. Let me just see. So I can't quite remember. So not used to Webull. Okay, closed my first one. Opened them for 42 cents, so 42-cent credit. Closed the first one for 30-cent debit. That was at 11.49. Yeah, 46. 49. Yeah, right there. It's the fills on here. It's like you can't even look at the candlesticks because it's just dancing all over the place. The spreads are wide. Webull sucks for fills. So this feels actually pretty good. I was trying to just basically close one on this support, and potential for this one down here to reach that. Next one I closed was at 11.52, and this was for a little bit less, so a little better. Yeah, right here. So that's for that. Yeah, so that was a nice little green trade. I'm happy how I played it. I want to do that more. I'm limited on day trades on this because it's a margin account. So I might fund it with $2,000 at some point once that changes, and just still keep it for credit spreads. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, when it's tapering to take the opposite way, I kind of like that strategy. And then if I had more buying power and if I had margin, of course, it could be something I could scale into. If I got it here and then it broke up here, just kind of keep scaling into it as it's hitting the top of that range. And then just keep this for my stop. Yeah. So something, a way to trade when it's not good for naked options. But today definitely got good for it. What did I say? Yeah, so calls there. 42 cents to 50. Wait, no. 45 cents to 42. 11.58. Okay, yeah. It came down here, still trying to catch the bottom of this wedge. So it bounced here, which was perfectly on my red. Big bounce, came up, came down, and I got it on that retrace right there. Right here. So ignore that green. It was like right here. So I got a call there with red being my stop. Thinking we're in an uptrend. This was a nice pullback inverse head for that shoulder. On the 30-minute, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's wasn't like we necessarily had a target to the upside. Yeah, this could have been the handle on the larger time frame, I guess. Yeah, because we just kind of retested all-time highs. Yeah, so got one there, 58 for 55 cents, closed it at 12.03 for 49 cents. So held all the way to here, right there, closed it. So stuck with it, stuck with my stop. I guess I could have not, but it's very possible that it comes here and bounces. That's how those wedge trades work. And that's why I only got one contract too. So again, another one with just one, since it's a wedge. And next one, 12.03. I think, yeah, so right on that same candle, I bought in two puts. Bought two puts there at 12.03, right here, because it broke that. It's kind of wicky down here this morning, so it's hard to kind of know where to draw, if it should be here or here. Here on that wick with these wicks, that's kind of what I ended up with. Or on this wick. But in the moment, you don't really know. I mean, it's easier to see now. Yeah, it was that one, but wasn't too sure. But anyways, got one there at 12.03. Tried to get more. 12.03 got one. 12.04 got one. And I had orders to get two more. They just never filled. These were both. The first one was a market. Second one was a limit. I'm kind of trying to do that, like starting with a market order, and then do limit orders on the next ones. But I thought this was the bottom of it, and I think it was. I think it just needed to build more liquidity. Potentially. I don't know. Without this news coming out, I don't know what exactly would have happened. But anyways, so closed out. Let's see. Sold one, 73 cents, 74 cents. Closed one for 93 cents. Thankfully on this candle. So just big red candle, took some profit, and I still had the orders open to open more puts, and then it broke my selling green, and I was like, should I just hold this one all the way till there? And I'm like, no, I really shouldn't. So I sold the next one actually for a small loss at 70 cents on this candle. I think it's kind of early on that candle though, because I had orders to buy more, but 0 days I got a hot potato. I have a hard time just holding them and just letting them go red, and then it's like, why don't I just sell it and try and buy it again? The problem with that is trying to buy it again is timing the market, and the less you can try and time the market, the better. So once you're in position, it's just a different mental state. So holding is good, but that's if you have enough to where that one doesn't really matter. Emotionally, it's not exhausting you at all. So in this case, I only had 2 and was like, I don't want to do that. So canceled the other buys and closed that one there. So just took a little green one there. It starts grinding up in red, which I'm like, I eventually put red down here. I didn't have it initially. I'm like, what's going on? This was annoying because it's hitting resistance here, and then it's kind of doing this, but I'm like, maybe there's a wider wedge here that I'm not seeing, but this doesn't look very good. There's not really good structure. It did end up kind of coming up and resisting gold here. And then my next trade was actually right here for puts. I'll tell you why. Well, so I wasn't paying attention to it, but I did still chart this red here. We had actually pretty big volume. I think this was probably the news getting leaked, or an algo picking up a little sniff of it somehow. And we had this, you can't see the volume now because that volume's crazy, but you did have a volume spike. And just the way this candle moved, there was definitely triggering some algos. Something got triggered a couple minutes before the actual market reacted. I saw this, it hit my alert because it broke this. And then it came up, and I think I got in right here. Let's see. Wait, where are we? Oh, did I really keep doing that? Oh, I did, yeah. 12:15. Wait a minute. Is there some trades in here I forgot about? 12. That's why I reviewed. 12:12. I gotta put. Oh, these did fill. What? 12:12. 12:15. Oh yeah, I got a little over trading here. 12:12 and 12:15. I got 2 more puts. On this candle. I guess I did get the retest maybe. I forgot about that. That's weird. And then here I got another one? Oh, crazy. Yeah, those are those original orders, I think. I think I had 4 and I canceled like 3 of them. So I did. I got more up here. Totally forgot about that. That's weird. And then I sold them both on that 12:15 candle. Yeah, so the limit order, it filled me 1 here and then 1 here, and then this candle was just green ripping up into the red, and so I closed all of them right there. At that point, there's only 2 because I'd already scaled out, and I just got back in here. This was for the retest. So, right idea. Yeah. I didn't want to manage it, and I didn't know where the actual end would be, like if it's this one or this one. And I'm assuming, like, typically when it does this, it'll break through then. It's not going to continue to grind up. But regardless, yeah. Next one was at 12:22. I bought one. 12:22, I bought another one. 12:23, I bought another one. 12:23, I bought another one. 12:23, I bought another one. I had 5 of these. I didn't quite mean to have 5. I just kind of kept hitting it. And this was on the break. Yep. Right here. So it was this breaking. So this line, if you see, you have it on this wick. That's right here. That's why I started getting them. Little head and shoulder here after it already broken the main red one. And I got scaled in a bunch here, and then the rest of them filled, I think, on 12:23. So I ended up with 5 of those things. I did, of course, I think I have another one down here, but at that point it was red. Then it does this. I'm like, is it actually bouncing on this now? So sold all of them on that same 23 candle. Thankfully, I didn't hold those too long. I had 5. That exhausted most of my buying power. Imagine. Oh, those 5 just a little bit later. Yep. So that was frustrating. I was kind of red at that point. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, this won't break here, and the structure's becoming ugly. And I just assumed there was a wider wedge that I wasn't seeing. That's why it wasn't triggering stops and volume increasing and going. Next one, let's see. Yep, sold 5 at 12.23. So that was, the buys were all 76 cents, 78 cents, 78 cents, 75, 74. Sold them all for 71. So I didn't let it get away too far, but it was enough that it kind of nasty. And my next order is at 12.58 on this candle. Actually, it was late on this candle, just as it was closing. I put a limit order to buy a put. Again, same reason why, because it broke here. The structure didn't look good up here. I did see this kind of news looking candle with it break, and so I was like, I'll just get one. And I have my gray here, but I'm like, there's not good structure here. I don't like, it's been so grindy, but that doesn't mean it can't change in 1 second, which is exactly what it did. This came up, it broke my gray right there. And that's all I need to know. I closed it right here on that green candle. Broke my gray. And I don't fault myself too much, honestly. Like, it's fine. I had to have a strict risk management on this one because there wasn't structure. And missing a news candle, like, I'm not really here to trade news candles. Sometimes I get lucky and I get them. Sometimes I miss them, and I'm still able to capitalize on them later. I can kind of chase them depending on the structure and the algos. Sometimes I get a retrace from them, whatever. Volatility and volume come in, I can usually figure out how to capitalize typically. But that's the reason I got to put there, and then I closed it there. And then this candle went whoom. Closed the inverse cup. I figured there was news. I was going to try and look it up. Didn't really matter. My buying power is low. I'm waiting for a handle. I'm thinking I've got to just rely on this red. So, yeah, I do this. Kind of grinds a little bit and then starts going down again. Like, I really don't want to take it on that. I guess I could have charted something steeper. At this point, all I had was this light gray. But since I'm kind of trying to trade bigger size, yeah, I guess I could have done one. I don't know. My mindset at this point was just be patient, wait for something better to set up, and just go in bigger, I guess. Sometimes I would just jump in on this, but there was just no structure, no retrace. Like, of course, in hindsight, like, I should have taken it, but it's not necessarily like always working out that way. This is pretty unusual. What I would have been able to chart, yeah, it would have stopped me out anyways if I kept going. Anyway, so I didn't take it there. And I'm thinking profit target potentially, like if it actually makes it, would be the bottom of this gold. You know, as it breaks here, I'm like, maybe it'll make to the bottom of this gold. And I think I just watched it come all the way down here. Never really built structure. Made it to the gold, found some resistance. And this was close to 5-day, I think, at the time. I don't quite remember, but my buying power is quite low. I was pretty bummed I missed that. Trying to be patient, trying not to get too much FOMO going on. Let's see, 28. 1. Yeah, I only have pretty low buying power at that point. 127, I got a call for 41 cents. So huge move down. Broke through that gold after it consolidated for a bit. I think it was bouncing on 5-day. We can look up where 5-day is. I haven't looked at Eric's charts today. Let's see what he's got going on. I think he charted. Yeah. So he's got the live 5-day. Mine doesn't. Oh, that's his 30-minute. Whoops. No. Wait, is that it? Yeah, okay, here it is. Oh, so it was above it. Or it was below it. It's hard to tell on my chart because it's a straight line. Just looks like one of my drawings. Ah, I see. That actually probably would have helped. So that was already below 5-day. To me, honestly, it didn't really matter a whole lot. Yeah, so I guess it was below 5-day. And I got a call. What did I say right there? Just for a bounce trade. Not necessarily a full retrace, but potentially retrace. Once it broke my gray here, broke here, I got it on that candle, I think. Yeah, 127, I got a call for 41 cents, and I was like, it's pretty far away, but I'm just going to hold it, and this will be my stop down here. So I kind of imagined we would potentially wedge or at least retrace if there's going to be another move to the downside. And yeah, it didn't. Came down here. I held through this, I think, a little bit. Yeah, I closed on this candle right here, 130. Close out of the call. And at that point, I'm like, I keep trying to figure out where it's building liquidity for this red. Like, it never really did it there. Like, it didn't do it here, here. It's just kind of grinding down. But it's hard to know where to put this. I think this is where it should have gone, but this is hindsight. So, it does this. It bounces up. And, oh, also when I opened up that call, I wasn't even paying attention, but this was like a perfect retest on the gold breakout. So breaking that selling gold channel right here, this was the retest, which it actually did twice, just kind of overshot a little bit, but those were such nice retests. Like, if you ever miss a trade, always look for that retest, because they can come. And nice clear stop with the gold. Given you have to stomach a little bit of volatility just because of the amount of volatility. So it was wicking. You just gotta kind of be patient a little bit, but yeah. So I wasn't even paying attention to that when I got calls. That okay, that could be the resistance right there. Anyways, did that, and then this was a beautiful little head and shoulder, just too small, and it was hard for me to see again because these lows were just kind of melting down. Looked like it was, to me, looked like it was selling less aggressive, which usually what happens when you have a big move. Like, it does this and it starts to taper and sell on a less aggressive. But in this case, it was just a full-on V, straight to the bottom, straight back up. So it was hard to know where to put this. I did see this. It's like, looks like a little head and shoulder, but I don't know how to manage this. And I was, I guess, I don't want to say tilted, but it was just like a little frustrated by that point. And my buying power is so limited. Let's see. So I got that call. And then next trade, so then it does this huge move. I'm like, oh my gosh. Next trade was down here. Oh no, never mind. So it did that. To get this bounce. Yeah. Oh, yeah, just, I don't know. Not with my charting. Couldn't have worked. So it comes down here, it builds a little liquidity. On the 30-minute, it actually kind of retested the bottom of that orange, but it's such a big range at this point. I'm like, I don't know what it's doing. Huge green candle. Starts to grind, starts to show this as resistance again. So my put was actually up here. At least this one had some structure and some sense to it. I'm thinking it's retesting here, and I'll use gold for my stop. That was basically it. So 44 cents, open it up at 156. The range at this point was huge. The IV was gnarly, so really you could just eat your IV. Like, you could have a move up, but the IV is going to decay so much just from this move. Like I said, the IV tripled. So even if you get a call, like if it slowly climbs up, that IV is just going down while it's going in your direction. So got one here at 56, a put, and gnarly candle to the upside where I sold it. 44 cents to 21 cents. That was a pretty nasty red trade also. And that was all of my buying power, which was fine. There was a wedge around 5-day into close anyways, which was to be expected more or less. Could have maybe had a trade in here, but it's better off I didn't have any buying power. And that's how I had a pretty nasty red day on such a big volatile day. It's fine, like, because this was a news event deal, so I don't blame myself for that. I think that's totally fine. I missed that. I'm glad I caught that. I guess I was being a little anxious and not patient. Well, no, see, I was trying to catch this too, because this was breaking. That's when I scaled up a bunch. I missed my entry here with larger size, so then once it did this, I had larger size. I guess I could have been more patient, wait for the cup to close, and trying to, well, but I thought this was outside the wedge, so yeah, that was okay. This was fine. I missed that. Really, the the mistake that I fault myself for was here. But even this, like, as I was explaining when I went through this, it was hard to know where to draw the structure. I was kind of looking necessarily for calls a bit, and maybe if I wasn't, would have been more clear-headed to see a retest. Not to say I would have gotten this one, because that would have messed me up, or even this one, but I don't know. When it happened, we have big moves like this, to just look out for continuation is usually the best, and sometimes it works out for me, and like I can do it, but I think it's just because these wicks down here and this angle on them, it just wasn't as clear as something like this. And then even down here, once it broke it was like big wicks and just kind of ugly. So this is the only trade where I'm like, I maybe should have caught it. But it's okay, because it's really not a great structure. Like this whole thing is like a shoulder for a move up to maybe VWAP, or this gold or something for a head. And then if it came down and broke, it would have been much easier. But since it was such a tight range, it was just, yeah. So even that one, yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm coming off the end of like, well, the end. I don't know. I'm coming off of a drawdown that keeps going. And I'm kind of somewhat not changed up, but I've changed my focus a little bit. There's the trades. So I didn't feel like I'll trade a whole lot today, and I ended by 2 o'clock. So Ivy's been low, and I've scaled up a bit. My scaled up trades have been the red ones, and so that's been kind of difficult. But I think what I was doing before, I don't know if that was gonna ever work, because I was just kind of spinning my wheels. Yeah, my profit factor was, or whatever, was over 50%, so yeah, I was making money, a little bit of money on every trade if you average them all out. But to just scale up with everything, it wasn't enough. Like, it just would have been too close, I think. I wouldn't have been comfortable. So trying to just trade less and then have a bigger scale, I think is what I need to do next. And it's what I'm trying to do now. I just have to kind of endure this drawdown, these few red days with larger size. So that makes it difficult. But yeah, I mean, that's just gotta churn through it until we get to the right trade. I'm kind of finding also when I'm trying to size up, the trades that I'm not getting into are the ones that are working. So maybe doing a couple more market orders on the trades I'm trying to size up into. I don't know, it seems like a few days this week it's been like, oh, I was trying to size up on this trade and I never got filled, because usually I'm sizing up on more of the breakout type trades, like outside the wedge. So maybe doing more market orders for those larger sizes. It's not like it's a big spread, so it doesn't really matter to limit order. I guess part of the reason for limit order for me is because I'm usually not getting it on the candle, the opposite candle. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more of an edge on my fill price. And then, yeah, sometimes I miss it. But today, yeah, like I said, this credit spread made me happy that I held for it, and I definitely want to start implementing that more. Now, just buying puts up here, I don't think is a good idea. Maybe debit spread, but really the credit spread I like. I just can't do many of them. Yeah, I don't know. We got tomorrow. We'll see. Probably just be an Ivy crush kind of day. Ivy's back elevated. Not crazy, but thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down at my sticks round. We will see you tomorrow. Peace out.